Hello, hello. My name is Kenorah. This is.
Hi, I'm Limchi, or Lim.
Hi. We needed to fill some time, so I have my Steam Deck here, and I'm going to play just a run and/or maybe two of Hades. Upon request, I'm going to be playing the Talos Fist. So we'll just get going. Ready when you are? Cool. Yeah, I can give like a rough estimate. 3, 2, 1. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off. So some things you might be noticing a little bit odd. I'm playing on a modded version of Hades. We have a modded kind of speedrunning pack. Kind of Hades being a roguelike, there's a lot of unruly things that we got out of the game. And just kind of streamlined a little bit to make sure that it runs just a little bit more consistently and not having to pull your hair out every 3 seconds. So I'm playing the Talos Fist, playing a bit of an odd build, but a fan favorite. Basically, we're going to be going to try and go for Poseidon as a cast, as well as... Oh, I am probably playing on the wrong... That's fine. We'll manage. Basically, I want to try to pick up some Ares runes and get a duo boon called Curse of Drowning. It's not like the best in the world, but it's fun, and we needed time, and I asked what aspect, and I was told Talos, so that was the one that I was told to get.
But yeah, this game you play as Zagreus, this little guy. He's the son of Hades, and he wants to get out of the underworld. So the main gameplay loop is you go into a chamber, there are some enemies that spawn. Once you kill the first wave, there'll usually be a second wave, sometimes a third. And then once you've killed them, you get a reward and you move on. And obviously, each chamber has a randomized reward, and the most powerful being a... Oh, hello. Most powerful being a god boon. So that will empower various parts of you, including your attack, your special, your cast, your dash, and your call. So Poseidon is the one we're going for here. Poseidon is specifically, as you can see here, pushes all the enemies away. And what's notable about Poseidon is that if you push enemies into a wall, they take extra damage. And you'll see that with a little body slam text there. And that's one of the reasons why Poseidon is so powerful. Because not only do you have crowd control, but you also get extra damage on top of that.
And the interesting thing about Talos is, like, Talos isn't necessarily the fastest aspect for the fists. It is probably one of the more fun ones, but the Demeter aspect, basically after a certain amount of attacks, lets you do like a charged up special, where you'll do like 5 hits of your special, which when you're going with a particular build that you would do for Demeter, it does just kind of do bonkers kind of damage. But thankfully, especially with a pretty nice Poseidon cast here with nice levels on and rarity as well, things are dying pretty quickly right now while we don't have the full kit set up. So pretty much this first area, Tartarus.
Got a couple keys there.
Yeah, which is nice. With some of the like kind of meta progression you can get in the game, getting keys lets you get extra dice, which lets you, the dice option that I have for currently set, pretty much let me re-roll any like major option. Oh, this is kind of annoying. Ooh.
I mean, I like Artemis.
I like Artemis.
Not for this build, though.
Yeah, A, not for this build. B, so what a lot of players don't realize at first is you pretty much can see any god in a run up until you find 4 in a particular run. And then that pretty much sets your god pool for that run. You can intentionally... objectively, that's not going to do anything in a soon, but like it's better than the alternative. That's fine.
Oh yeah, and then Hermes, that boon that Kenorah just took now, is kind of like a wildcard boon that doesn't upgrade your damage in any way, but only upgrades like your movement and...
Mostly doesn't upgrade your damage.
Yeah, mostly. So this is the first first boss, sorry, not mini boss, of the run. There's 4 main areas of the game. We start in Asphodel, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, Tartarus.
Tartarus, sorry. We go Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and then Styx. And at the end of each area there is a boss. These are the 3 Furies, or Megaera, but also the other 2 Furies are here too. But I think that name's a bit too long, so...
Persephone and Electro.
Yes.
So we intentionally do turn on... Yeah, so that's Tartarus done. We intentionally turn on one of the heat settings that makes some of the bosses more difficult. Namely, it provides us a benefit in the second boss in this next area coming up. And it doesn't really slow us down. Actually, that's going to be pretty nice here.
Yeah, I've heard it's faster, right? Slightly.
It doesn't really change much. It causes more damage to be out on the screen for the Furies, but for the next fight, it does change the arena quite significantly.
Yeah.
Which just allows you to clump up the additional heads. We're going to be fighting a Hydra, a bone Hydra. And where are the enemies that they are?
Yeah, the thing about Asphodel is that the arenas are actually pretty big, and sometimes they just kind of all clump up in a corner, and if you choose left and they're in the right, there's not really much you can do. It's kind of annoying, but it's just a time loss you have to take. But the cool thing about this game is that it actually does encourage speedrunning in itself. So
that's nice.
As you can see, top right corner, we've also got an in-game timer and an RTA timer beneath that.
The RTA timer is from the mod pack.
Yes.
But the in-game timer is built in directly.
Yeah. And there are various parts of the game, like various trinkets, that will actually encourage speedrunning. So I believe Hermes Trinket, it is the one that if you beat the chamber in a certain amount of time, you get 1% extra move speed, and it's pretty cool.
Wait, is there a shop over there? Oh, no, but that's... So one of the nice things about the mod pack is that we added a kind of visual indicator for these fountain rooms. Normally there's absolutely no indication whatsoever, and they are just... Every biome has a set amount on. You know what's funny?
Oh,
I'm going to miss the mid-shop here.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So there's actually a setup we want to do here. I think I got it? Nope.
Oh.
It's much easier when I have access to either a mouse and or weapons that can aim. Currently I have neither, but that's fine. That's mini-boss down. So here we have the second part of our combo here, Ares, giving us an epic attack Doom. We're not really going to be focusing on the Doom of Ares, but it does unlock that duo boon Curse of Drowning that we were seeking. And basically it's going to change how our cast operates. The cast being the little Poseidon knockback thing you've been seeing me throw around. And so what the Talos aspect is kind of known for is it has this magnetic pull that it can pull enemies towards you. And it does also increase the damage of your casts to the enemies that you've previously hit with that magnetic pull. So the funny thing is, like I mentioned, there are set set number of rooms before a particular boss in each biome, and some rooms can't be eligible to get you a mini shop, like a mid shop. So I just completely didn't get one in that Asphodel, and sometimes that just happens, and it's slower on average because the shops do count as one of those floors. But I got the mini boss, I got a fountain, and I got the story event in the middle at the end there, so pretty decent all around.
Here's Loney.
Here's Loney the Bone Hydra.
Loney the Bone Hydra.
Yeah, so this is the one where normally it would just be one kind of big open area, and you'd just be kind of having to chase around these heads, whereas in this much smaller arena, they kind of come to us more often.
But the deal is, you deal some damage to Loney. Loney's going to bring out the little Hydras. You have to kill the little Hydras to make Loney vulnerable again, and then repeat.
Pretty much. And so the nice thing about the mod pack as well is that it enables us to pick our first hammer, which basically there are upgrades in the run that let you pretty drastically change our weapons Oh. We good? We good, okay. I'll have to be careful. I think that's just funness that comes from playing on a Steam Deck. Oh, be very careful. There we go.
Nice.
What's
Lonely
it say?
vanquished.
I don't know.
While you
got a
gather
little
your
bit of that.
thoughts.
Yeah, go for it. This game is very fast, so it's easy to...
I've got a $10 donation from Jalubra, which says, "Yay, Hades! I would like to put this donation to my made-up incentive of pet that dog."
Pet that dog. Oh, I can pet
Can
that
I pet that dog?
I can pet that dog. So in between runs, there is... you're back in the House of Hades temporarily, and you can absolutely pet that dog, Cerberus. So here we're now wanting to find as many Poseidon and Ares boons as possible, because it will allow us to get that duo boon that we've been kind of wanting to make our build from the beginning. Got a little unlucky, because we did fill out our god pool, as I mentioned at the beginning of, like by the end of Tartarus. So there was like no natural chance of us finding Ares, so we had to force it. We would have forced it anyway. Nope. Nope. Nope, okay. Fill out a core boon.
So when we talk about duo boons, when you pick up a boon, you can select from a variety of options. There's 3 options that are shown to you normally, and each of them have a rarity assigned to them. So common, rare, uncommon, something or other. It's grey, green, blue, purple, etc.
Yeah.
And duo boons, normally upgrading the rarity of boons will just do more damage, or they'll just like scales in some way. But duo boons actually are unique in that they just kind of do something completely different. The reason why they're called duo boons is because they combine both of the gods' abilities in some way or another that makes it very, very powerful. So that they're obviously the highest rarity, which is legendary, so they are hard to get, which is why you saw Kenorah re-rolling before, but they are very, very powerful.
And we do have the mirror option that lets us see them 10% more often, but even rolling,
even Lady Luck can only take us so far.
There's a lot of back-end code that kind of goes into how boons and whatnot are picked. Basically, the game will always try to prioritize helping you fill out your core boons, excluding your call. Which is the little symbol that you see on the bottom left of my. That's fine.
Yeah, also not great.
So, like, that's why I took the special there, because I want to try to fill that.
Hey.
So now we have our build, quote unquote, online. Yeah, I like Poseidon. So now instead of shooting at the cast, now our cast does this like pulsing AoE around us, which when we pull in an enemies and they take more damage from our cast.
That is so fast.
Yeah. So now we have this build online where we pretty much inject the loads of the cast stones into our body, and now bring the enemies to us to make...
Zagreus has become a fusion reactor.
Yeah, pretty much. So most of the enemies here in Elysium like to respawn as like to have these like little eyeball ghosts that you see here, and if we don't kill them and they go back to the weapons that they leave on the ground, they will actually respawn as the enemies that we just killed.
Sneaky little guy.
No, the sneak is in Tartarus.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry. Yeah. We did also happen to get a duo boon from the Aphrodite, Dash, and Poseidon that we have that lets us... You've been seeing us get those bombs. Those basically level up our boons. And now, because of the duo boon we got, each pom is now worth 2 levels instead of just the 1. So just to kind of help out damage scaling here. So there's a lot of different ways you can play Hades. There's a lot of different aspects that focus more on attacks, that focus more on specials, that focus more on your casts, like your Talos here. We're also nearing the end of Elysium here. This is the end shop. You can get a pretty good sense, you can usually get a pretty good sense of, I have a level 13 cast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a little overkill.
Right. So this is the hero's fight. This might go a little differently than you might know if you've played this game casually. Because with the Megaera summon and being able to stick near them, we're able to just pulse out all this AoE damage.
Yeah, this build is kind of insane.
It's like, yeah, this build is not like the top tier, like top echelon of builds, but when it's online, it can be just really fun. Pulling enemies towards you, giving them that magnetic bonus, and then just AoEing down. Oh no, come on. There we go.
Alright,
That was
cool.
Elysium.
Yeah,
You want to
but...
explain sticks?
Okay, so the way that Styx works is that we need to get to the final boss, which is Hades.
The game name.
Sorry. But unfortunately Cerberus is blocking our way, so we need to go and bring him a Satyr sack in order to let us pass. But the Satyr sack can be in any one of 5 chambers. It cannot be in the first, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And then every subsequent chamber from that, it's a 50-50 chance? Or
Pretty much, yeah.
It becomes more and more likely.
Yeah, it's a 51% chance to be your second tunnel.
Yes.
It can never be your first.
Yeah.
And because of that, it just does get more and more unlikely to ever get like a 5 sack, which is what we've road to getting the 5th tunnel.
Yeah, I think 5 sack is like 2% chance
it was
or
like
something.
2.5 or something
It's
like
very,
that.
very low.
And yet you see it more
Yeah.
than you'd like.
There's some runs where you're like, oh, I made it, like, this is as a casual player. I do not run this game. I really like this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time, but I do not run it. But, like, as a casual player, you go through the entire game, and you're, like, really hurting by the time you get to Styx, and you go through, like, 3 chambers, and you still don't get the sack, and you're on, like, 1 health, and you've got no Death Defiance left, and it's just, you know it's over. It's really unfortunate, because you can just get unlucky at this part. So I would say that this is probably, like, the most RNG-intensive part, because not only do you have to go through these little chambers that have various enemies, but sometimes they can also have a mini-boss in them, which is just not fun.
Yeah, so you'll see in 2 of these 5 tunnels, there were skull icons next to the rewards. Those are the ones that include the mini bosses. So we will typically always go to the one of the mini boss ones first, and then just because mini bosses are faster than the waves of enemies, especially this late into the game. The further deep you are, the more likely you are to get waves of enemies rather than just the 1 round of enemies. And then because you have a 50-50 chance, you'll always typically want to try to go to just whatever reward you want.
Yes.
So
I wasn't going to curse it, but if you get a 2 sack, you could bring that jerky into the final fight, which is really nice.
So, you know how I mentioned the mod pack helps eliminate a lot of the RNG that we really didn't like? That was one of the first things that we standardized, where we just basically always make it a 2 sack, because no one liked losing their really good paces to just getting a 3 or a 4 or 5 sack, and it's just not...
Especially since it's the end of the run.
It's the end of the run, so you go through all of the rest of the RNG hell just to go... We left hell, so we wanted to...
We're in the real world now.
So here's Hades.
Did you pet the dog?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We can't pet that dog. We can't pet that Hades. That Cerberus.
We did feed the dog, though.
We did feed the dog. But we will pet that dog when we go back to the House of Hades.
Here's Dad.
So here's Dad. So we also have a keepsake here that is like usable across many different biomes, but it's particularly nice in Hades. It basically, the first 5 hits, or hits from ads do count, so I did kind of eat away at them a little bit, will be pretty fully negated. So the first like 2 or 3 hits from Hades himself just did not take any damage or hit stun or anything like that. Just allows us to be a lot more aggressive.
Hades does a lot of damage. He can like 5 or 6 shot you most of the time if you're not building like for insane HP for whatever reason. But like normally,
56 there.
Yeah, normally you go in here with about 200 health, and like it's just. Anyway.
So Hades has a phase 2.
Because of course he does. And this phase is a lot more scary.
But we also just kind of don't care.
Yeah,
we have so much health and so many revives that like...
Death Defiance. And your DPS is insane.
Oh, we haven't seen anything yet. We're gonna do Beowulf after this.
Oh, nice.
Beowulf is my favorite aspect.
Yeah, see, normally at this point you're like you have to hide behind the pillars.
Not time, because that would be time if I wasn't told if I went under 20 minutes, I would need to keep going. Yeah, I'm told to keep going. So I'm gonna go pet that dog, and I'm gonna go do another. I thought you said give go thumbs up. Okay, time. I'll go pet that dog.
We will pet that dog.
I was told to do a 20-minute and a 15-minute.
Please pet that dog. The people paid money.
I know. Oh, I don't want to talk to the dog.
We want to pet the dog.
I'm gonna pet the.
Oh.
There we go. Pet that dog. And that's time. We can call that time. Yeah. Cool. So that was Hades. That was very last minute, but very fun. Thanks for coming and explaining that chaos of a run. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us. Any second now. There we go.
All right, what a cool run of Hades by Kenorah. Next up, we've got Simpsons Hit and Run by Atomic Caleb. We're doing all story missions. Stick around for that. And this is me signing off as your host. Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a lovely day.
Hello everyone, my name is Galistrini and I'm going to be your host for the next runs coming up. Up next, we have Simpsons Hit and Run All Story Missions with Atomic Caleb. Take it away.